A season opening homestand continues for the Delaware women's lacrosse team as the Fightin' Blue Hens are set to host another Patriot League foe in Lafayette College. The Hens won their opener against Lafayette's top rival, Lehigh, and with the win today, Delaware will be 2-0 for the first time since 2016. We wish everybody a good afternoon from Delaware Stadium and Raymond Field. Adam Dobrovolsky here on Hens All Access and Flow Sports Live for this early season matchup on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon in the first state. As you see, the temps, well, they're going to go ranging from 40 to 60, but we're closer to the 60 range right now. Very light in terms of the clouds, no chance of precipitation. It's really a beautiful Wednesday afternoon to enjoy some lacrosse. And for the Blue Hens, again, trying to make it a 2-0 start. This coming off a win against Lehigh over the weekend in their opener, 13-11. And it was a strong second quarter that led the way for the Hens. 6-2 scoring advantage in that quarter. Also Delaware with a 20-8 advantage at the draw circle. Very key for the Hens to control possession. As a result, they got a pair of hat tricks. One from Kira Grant, the sophomore, with her first career hat trick. And then one from the junior attack, and Danielle Livernice, who also had 7 draw controls in the game. Riley Gillen had 4 assists. And Mercy McCarthy, the win in goal. And McCarthy will be the starter in goal again today under head coach Amy Altig. Meanwhile, for the Leopards, this is their first game of the 2023 season. The Leopards last year won a pair of games. They returned pretty much the entirety of that team. Their only graduate that was in the starting lineup was Olivia Cunningham, the leading scorer. Other than that, the experience starting to build up under their fourth-year head coach, Katie McConnell. The Leopards, the previous 2 seasons, they were shortened due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Finally got a full season in last year. McConnell continuing to put her fingerprints on the program. And for the Leopards, we'll see how much that experience helps to carry into things today. As you see, the Leopards will be in their maroon and white today. And for the Blue Hens, primary whites today with the blue numbering and yellow trim. Today marks the 26th meeting all-time between these two programs, but the first since 2015. Delaware dominated that game. 22-2 was the victory. That marked the 9th consecutive win for the Blue Hens in this series. They were more of regulars competing against each other in the 90s and aughts. Lafayette had a string. Delaware has returned the favor. But today, the first matchup in just a few days shy of 8 years. It'll start off at the draw circle with Izzy Ray for the visiting Leopards. And for the Blue Hens, again, they were very strong at the draw circle over the weekend in the win against the Mountain Hawks. They will have in to start things off here, Sam Schelling to get things underway. Well, not quite yet. Actually, it's Maggie Farragher, the freshman from Evanston, Illinois, who's in the draw circle for the Hens. And so we're about to get underway here on this Wednesday afternoon for women's lacrosse in the early stages of this 2023 campaign. And we are underway here from Delaware Stadium. We thank you so much for tuning in today. A push in the back will give possession to Delaware, who have the following in the starting lineup today. It'll be the sophomore midfielder Kira Grant, the sophomore attack in Halen Cerrone, the senior and quad captain Mae Dickens at midfield, the sophomore defender Emma Hoffman, the senior defender and quad captain Madison Haranica, an all-colonial preseason player. Morgan Gore, gets to start in midfield. The freshman Lizzie Shue, the senior in attack. Laurel McHale, she gets on the board. She's in the starting lineup, and the graduate student, just about to mention her in the starting lineup, the transfer from Bucknell, a Patriot League school, comes right in early and makes it 1-0, 38 seconds into the match. So Laurel McHale, 37 career goals, 23 assists in 44 games, and gets things right out of the gate. Quick turn and fire upper right. for the tally. A graduate student from Bernardsville, New Jersey, joined by her younger sister in the junior attack, Jenna McHale, and both McHale sisters were effective against the Mountain Hawks. Laurel had 2 goals, 2 assists. Jenna, 2 goals, 1 assist in the win over Lehigh. We'll get you the remaining starters for Delaware, but first, the next draw controlled to come. And obviously, if Delaware can have the success they had over the weekend against Lehigh, a chance to build some quick runs off of goals scored. And it'll be another draw control. Maggie Farragher able to get the control. She is also in the starting lineup with the sophomore defender, Sam Schelling. The sophomore attack, who last year as a freshman set a program record by freshmen for assists in Delaney McDaniel. And in goal will be the 5th year and Mercy McCarthy. Delaware working the ball around here. A little bit more settled this time, but the carry from up top by Gore gives away to Shu. Shu splits a few, takes the shot. Might have been off the stick of the keeper, Lexi Coldiron, but picked back up by Delaware. Possession resumes here for the Hens. We'll get you the Leopards starters at their first possession. Here's Shu on the drive and the finish to make it 2-0. Not even 90 seconds in, and the Hens already turning on the fire. 2 possessions, 2 scores. And it'll be Lizzie Shu on the board. Shu, the senior from Potomac, Maryland, has been a reliable hand in her time with the Hens. Among the top scorers last year. And gets her first of the afternoon. Last year started 3, but played all 17 games in the attack. And as a result, Shu, through her Delaware career, now has 30 goals after a strong campaign last year. Delaware trying to make it 3 out of 3 at the draw circle, but this time it'll be picked up by Katie Chasen and the Leopards. Katie Chasen, a senior attack joined by the captain and senior attack and Sarah Bennett. Lindsay Geiger, a sophomore defender, the local product for the Leopards from Easton, PA. Izzy Ray, the sophomore midfielder. Genevieve Strobel, the senior attack. Claire Colgan, the junior midfielder. Allie Krieger, the sophomore defender. Sarah Rogers, the sophomore attack. Kira O'Driscoll, the junior defender. Carrie Tuorto, the senior midfielder. Jordan Simonson, the freshman defender. And the keeper today, the junior Lexi Coldiron, are in the starting lineup for the Leopards. And their first possession in attack. Surveying the scene from X. Trying to get the pass right at the cage to Genevieve Strobel was a bit off the mark. Tracked back down by the Leopards. A foul drawn. Quick restart. Open lane to drive. And as a result, with a defender not marking anybody, they're going to call the whistle here and provide a free position coming up for Megan McLaughlin. McLaughlin, a senior attack from Fairport, New York. Tries for the shot low, but an opening save by McCarthy. Quickly tossed ahead. Nobody there on the backside defensively. Should be an easy transition for the Hens. Let's see if they can attack against an unsettled defense. They didn't have the numbers, though, and likely will calm things down here on the 7v7. But Delaware off to a quick 2-0 lead, scoring on their first 2 possessions of the game. Delaware going to take its time here with a minute left to go in possession. Looking for a dodge, but a foul called. Lizzie Yurchak, second year with the Hens after earning all Big South status as a freshman with Campbell. And will provide maybe the first 8-meter opportunity for Delaware. Tries to fire high, but that's off the mark. Backed up by the Hens. And so Delaware will keep possession. Trying to make it a 3-0 lead. Now a fired shot. That goes a bit high and wide. Backed up once again. As a shot for the second time by Jurčák. Gets it again. Carry from up top. Driving. Rotation gets there for Lafayette. Jurčák has to pass. Was initially batted down. Loose ball scooped up. At X. Feed right to the mouth of cage and the finish. The one-timer by Lizzie Shue makes it a 3-0 lead. So that's back-to-back possessions with goals scored for Lizzie Shue. Did not score against Lehigh, but an early 2 here. Just 4 minutes in, and you see good off-ball movement, winning the spot right in front. Beating out Katie Chasen in front of cage. And so 2 in a row by Shue. We'll also keep an eye on those passes from ex-Delaney McDaniel with the assist. McDaniel, as already mentioned, set the freshman record for Delaware last year in terms of assists. And McDaniel, along with Madison Hronika, preseason All-Colonial. First time Delaware's had multiple players on the all-preseason team in 4 seasons. But McDaniel, just a sophomore from Archbishop Spalding, had 28 assists last year. Gets one there on the Shue goal. And Delaware will quickly grab a 4th possession at a 5 total. Delaware going to remain patient here. Jurčák, though, double-teamed. Third comes to help out. Pass gets off. The Lafayette defense converges once again. As the Hens will look to get open, it's Shue for a 3rd time. Getting in front. Couldn't finish this time. Loose ball is picked up by Laurel McHale. Nearly a hat trick in the first 5 minutes for Shue, who's been winning the ball in front of cage early on. And there might be an adjustment needed for Katie McConnell's team, who again is playing its first game of the season as the pass off the mark for McHale. McHale tries to win it back, but is whistled for the foul. And so Lafayette with their first stop defensively. You just never know how that extra game of reps can either help or hurt you. You're going to have one more game of experience than your opponent. That's the good thing, but there always could be a matter of a team fully rested and fully geared to go and starting hot out of the gate. The Hens right now taking advantage of the Leopards settling into 2023. It's a drive and a shot for Abby Romano, but the junior midfielder's denied. Another save by Mercy McCarthy in Delaware quickly working in transition, trying to make it 2 out of 2 clearing, and they will, with Jurčák getting the job done in transition. 3-0 still to score. Possession from X. Riley Gillen had a career-high 4 assists against Lehigh, starts the passing. Both McDaniel and Gillen have emerged as top facilitators in this Delaware attack. McDaniel gives it up top. She would attract some attention. Around the horn the passing goes. There's an attempt by Jurčák to get it back in, but a foul called on the feed for Morgan Gore, and Gore will have an opportunity from 8 meters out. A second free position opportunity coming up for the Hens. Gore will drive, try to finish low. Cold Iron with the save. Heavy rebound off the stick, which parried it out of bounds. It'll be a fresh 60 for Delaware. And possession remaining. Good work, though, by Cold Iron. A junior from Pilesville, Maryland, with her first save. Make it a second as a shot belt high from Sydney Rosa, who's in her second year at the Hens after transferring from Penn State. So now we're starting to see the Lafayette defense settle in. Now they got to find the offense as a transition attempt by Olivia Kelly's denied. Good work from behind on the trail check. As Delaware gets it back, Yurchak calls a turnover. Lafayette puts the ball on the ground. Delaware keeps possession. A fake of the pass by Delaney McDaniel will help to settle it down for the Blue Hens. Delaware going to take its time here. Eye briefly off the ball by Jenna McHale, but she'll get it back. Both of these teams returning a lot of experience as Yurchak drives. 9 of the most frequent starters for Delaware return, and 10 for Lafayette. We mentioned the graduation of Olivia Cunningham, their top scorer last year, but did lose 1 defender along the way. Other than that, 10 returned to the starting lineup for Lafayette and 9 for Delaware as the free position converted, and it's a 4-0 Delaware lead. It's Lizzie Yurchak getting the job done from 8 meters out, and that's her first of the afternoon. Yurchak not getting the start today, but will be one of those key players in rotation in attack today. Gets the job done, finishing low and left on the free position. And so just a little bit beyond the halfway mark of this first quarter in Delaware with the opening 4 tallies in this game. A little more on Yurchak, who, again, her second year with Delaware, the junior from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. All Big South first team as a freshman at Campbell University. Was among the best in the country with assists, draw controls, and ground balls. 21 goals, 21 assists, 65 draw controls, 33 ground balls, 16 caused turnovers. And then in her first year with the Hens, was able to get another 14 goals and 7 assists, as well as at least 13 in the ground ball caused turnover and draw control department. We're going to have our first penalty assessed here as Lafayette controlling the draw, but they'll also be going up the player. A 2-minute penalty assessed. And I believe it was Kellyanne Matei getting whistled for the infraction. Lafayette getting on the board here, just able to sneak the shot through, and it's now a 4-1 game. Well, quick work on the player up for the yellow card. And so Lafayette able to get their first tally of the 2023 season. Just a little bit more than 8 minutes into the year. That might start to settle in the offense as Sarah Rogers provides the opening tally of 2023 for the Pards. A sophomore from Oak Knoll Academy in New Jersey, and also from nearby Madison, New Jersey, nearby from Oak Knoll, that is. One of the premier prep programs, not just in lacrosse, field hockey as well. And Rogers making her presence known here with the first Lafayette tally. Delaware able to control the next draw, 4-1 the score. Ball will work up top. Jenna McHale gives away. Sydney Rosa Looks for some help, gives it away. And there's going to be a whistle called. A little too much contact there defensively as Morgan Gore, draws the foul. Amelia Duncan a little bit overzealous there, and it'll be awarded a free position. Delaware's been active so far at the 8-meter. This will be their 4th attempt as Gore misses the shot wide. Quick rebound, though, by Delaware. Rosa turning to her left, passes away. Around the horn it goes to goal line extended. McDaniel to Gillen. Gillen surveying. Gives it back. McDaniel turning, trying to fire. Shot slowed up. Cold Iron with the save. Loose ball, scooped up by Delaware. Quick passing, but well defended by Lafayette. Delaware scored in its first 3 possessions, 1 in the next 3, holding the possession here, but a foul called before the shot by Jenna McHale. And it's starting to feel like this might be the best way Delaware attacks Lafayette, is getting those 8-meter opportunities. We'll be looking already at a 5th opportunity, but 1 of 4 so far against Cold Iron. Make it 1 of 5 as Cold Iron makes the save. And on a hop, it's picked up by Lindsay Geiger. Geiger, guarded by 2, finally gets the pass off. After a long bit of work in transition, Sarah Bennett, tri-captain for Lafayette this season, passes away, and the clear is good. After Lexi Cold Iron coming up big on a pair of occasions on the free position. Meanwhile, a shot low, and Megan McLaughlin adds a 2nd for Lafayette. They've scored in 2 consecutive possessions and have cut this deficit in half. McLaughlin doing a good job against the defense that wasn't yet fully settled. And on the drive, quick turn, shot low before McCarthy really could see it and drop the stick for her first of the season. McLaughlin in her time on College Hill has been able to kind of mix in her offense from behind goal line extended and along the wing. It's her 19th career goal and career game number 29, but also along the way, 24 assists, including a career high 11 last year as a junior. So far, all 4 shots from Lafayette have been on goal. And for Delaware, 9 of their 13 shots have been on target. That means 2 saves from Mercy McCarthy and 5 saves from Lexi Cold Iron in this opening quarter of action. Both keepers want to keep that save percentage at 50 or better, as Delaware will control the draw and try to get right back to extending this lead, which saw the Hens get the opening 4 in the game. Carry will begin from far side. Well defended. Up top it goes to Yurchak. Quick feed to the heart of the defense. A turn and fire by McHale is denied again. And it's Lexi Cold Iron who actually stopped the shot of Danielle Livernice, I should say. Not McHale, but Livernice on the shot. Cold Iron with a long pass, launched ahead beyond midfield, received on the run. Clear is good. Rogers has to pass it in traffic, but that was off the mark and intercepted by Delaware. Looked like Rogers was hoping to get a step going transition. It was closed up nicely defensively, forced the pass on the run. Here's another pass on the run, picked up, saved by Cold Iron, and a rebound right off the shot. But that was an initial seed on the attempt by Megan Bozzi. Denied by Cold Iron. Bozzi got it back. Still a minute on the shot clock for Delaware. 3 and change left to go first quarter, but a foul called offensively against Delaware, and it's another stop for the Leopards. Again, Delaware scored on its first 3 possessions, which was in the first 4 possessions of the game. Since then, 1 goal in 6 possessions. As a result, there's a chance here for the Leopards to cut this deficit down to 1, depending on if they can get the clear here and set up the attack. Good bit of traffic for Allie Krieger to have to get around. She does. And so the clear is good. Took a good bit of time off the clock, more than a half minute out of the 90-second possession. Romano pivots, getting by the defender, drawing contact, and finishing to make it a 4-3 game. The junior from Upper Montclair, New Jersey, who enjoyed a breakout sophomore campaign, able to make this a 4-3 game. And that was just will and way by Abby Romano. Romano following the footsteps of her older sister Amanda, playing Division I lacrosse. Amanda had competed for Rutgers University. Romano breaking out last year. Gets her first tally of 2023, and all of a sudden, 3 of the last 4 from the Leopards, actually the last 3, I should say, from the Leopards after the opening 4 from Delaware. And you will see this a bit more early in the year than as we get into the colonial portion of the season. Early in the year, teams still kind of getting the full reps in, full rhythm. Quick start by Delaware as Lafayette was getting settled in. And now since we've been settled in, it's been Lafayette playing a bit of the cleaner game. Foul on the loose ball attempt to control the draw. So it will be a control for Lafayette. And now into attack. 4-3 the score from Newark, Delaware. Second game of the year for the Blue Hens, first for the Leopards. Quarter which saw Delaware race ahead, but Lafayette get right back in it. 90 seconds left to go. Pass was a bit high, but tracked back down by Sophia Spallone and the Leopards. A little stop and pass away. Roll by Romano, attracts a second, passes away. Slide gets there for Delaware defensively. Romano passes towards Bennett. Not caught cleanly. Delaware with the takeaway and a room to run here in transition. Leopards have 4 defenders, Hens 4 attackers in transition. McDaniel not liking any particular passing option, so we'll slow it down with the shot clock off. No need, if you're Delaware, to really push it until you're comfortable with the shot, which I don't think they'll really start the play in earnest until the final 20 to 30 seconds of this quarter. Delaware still biding some time here. Getting a dodge. Gillen shovels the pass away. Reverse grip on the pass. Under 20 to go. Now Delaware will start to run. Second defender helps out. Feet a little bit behind the mark. Track back down. 10 seconds left to go. Delaware still with time, but they need to start moving with more purpose. As Riley Gillen, past goal line extended, tries this shot. No good. Shovel attempt is whiffed. But Lexi Coliron on a run defensively late helps to keep it a 4-3 game. I believe 7 saves in the quarter alone for the Lafayette keeper. And we'll head into the first quarter break with Delaware leading by a 4-3 score. We'll pause briefly. You're watching Hens All Access and Flow Sports Live. Delaware women's lacrosse is on a 4-game homestand to start out the 2023 campaign. A win on Saturday against Lehigh, battling today against the Leopards. Then you see coming up next in a week's time against Temple, followed by another home date on February 25th against Old Dominion. And then as well, after a trip to UMBC, home against the Georgetown Hoyas, March 4th. Those are the next 4 games upcoming on this 2023 schedule for Delaware women's lacrosse. And thank you so much for tuning in here on Hens All Access and Flow Sports Live. Delaware raced ahead early. You start to wonder, is this going to be a game where the Hens dominate throughout, scoring on the first 3 possessions, leading 4-0? But eventually, Lafayette, first game of the season, they started to settle in, make the stops defensively, limit Delaware to 1 goal in its last 7 possessions, cutting the deficit down to 4-3. And the standout so far, Lexi Coldiron, the last save actually marked her 8th of the quarter. 8 saves in the opening 15 minutes for Coldiron, who was keeping the Delaware attack cold late. Fitting name, right? And so we'll see how things go here into quarter number 2. But if you're Delaware, you keep attacking. A 15-5 shot advantage in the opening quarter gives you no reason to try to reinvent the wheel, so to say, offensively. And they have the opening possession here for quarter number 2. If anything, you just keep working different looks. Try to find openings for the shots. Dangerous pass, but in traffic, caught an open goal. Makes it 5-3. Coldiron was looking for the cost turnover, trying to intercept that away, and Laurel McHale with the finish. Riley Dillon with the choice pass. As you look at the replay here, quick finish. You see keeper out. Coldiron was feeling it. 8 saves in the opening quarter. In that situation, you're trusting your eyes of how you're reading the ball. When you've been making all those saves, just was unable to get there in time. But already goal number 2 of the game and 4 of the season for Laurel McHale. And Gillen with the assist. "34 seconds into this quarter after scoring in the opening 38 seconds of quarter number 1. McHale with both opening tallies of the quarter. And another draw control for the Hens. The unit is well versed for Delaware, the draw control unit. You want to make sure you have someone who can control the direction of the opening touch. If you can't catch it cleanly yourself, you want to send it out to the wing to an open spot that will give your teammate an opportunity to win the foot race and gain possession. And Delaware with 7 draw controls, 3 by Farragher, but in 2 from Danielle Livernice and 1 apiece from Gore and Schelling. Working from the starting lineup, as there'll be a whistle here. And an opportunity for a free position, which was one of the stories in the opening quarter. Delaware 1 of 5 free position shooting. Delaware will pass along this time. Take their time here. Feed in traffic, and another catch and shoot finish. It's 6-3. And it's a quick hat trick for Laurel McHale. Make that Danielle Livernice, excuse me. Apologies. A little trouble reading the difference between that 2-0 and 2-4 early on. But Livernice is another one of these Delaware players who's extremely well-versed. Gets the job done well in draw control positions. Also works the offense well. Had a hat trick in the opener, 7 draw controls. A junior from Flemington, New Jersey, by the way of Hunterdon Central. 3 goals, 7 draw controls, a ground ball caused turnover on Saturday. Then last year, as a sophomore, 11 goals and assists and 81 draw controls, which was among the best in a single season for the Hens. This time, though, it's Lafayette controlling the draw now. Always tough to really look at a single season stat total and withdrawal controls and see where it exactly ranks all time, because you have different possession dynamics. Recent seasons having the changes with the shot clock helps to give a little more possession and pace to this women's lacrosse game, so you will see more draw controls in the modern era compared to previous eras. But still, 81 last year by Livernice, particularly good, as Delaware gets the stop. Nearly turned it over on the transition attempt, but now the Jets on. The clear is good. Quickly into attack. Trying to make it a goal in each of the first 3 possessions here in quarter 2 after doing it in quarter 1. And it would be particularly tough for Lafayette to swallow after they cut a 4-goal deficit down to 1 to concede 3 consecutive goals in as many possessions. Quick adjustment of the headgear for the Hens before the free position opportunity from a very tight hash, though, for Lizzie Yurchak. Probably a more likely pass territory. Quick cut and feed. Blow by shot, but a save by Cold Iron. It went low on the attempt by Kira Grant. Kick, save, and rebound for Lafayette. Again, Lexi Cold Iron seeing the ball very well early. Approaching double figures in terms of saves, as the Lafayette clear is good. Part of that being Lafayette's defense affording savable shots, but also Cold Iron seeing the ball very well and making Delaware have to have the plus pass or plus shot to get the tally. A foul is called here, and it'll set up a free position from up top. Good-looking hash for the Leopards. And that'll be a goal. Able to get the finish by McCarthy. May have had an opportunity for it, but it's a tally by Sarah Rogers. It's her 2nd of the game. And Lafayette back within 2. 3.5 minutes here into quarter number 2. We'll look at the replay here. McCarthy saw it, just couldn't get that stick timed up with the shot. And so 6-4 the score. Both of these teams hoping to use these early season games to get them in a groove for the conference portion of the season. Delaware preseason number 5 after making the Colonial Tournament last year. Again, 2 all-conference preseason players. Lafayette 10th in the Patriot League preseason polls. Did have a win last year in conference play against Boston University. Of course, the favorite for the Patriot League this year is going to be Loyola after making the quarterfinals last year and having a program record 20 wins. Of course, the Colonial having a recent national champion who's no longer in the conference in James Madison, but Always feel like there's going to be somebody in the Colonial who's going to have a chance for a deep run. And Delaware hoping it's them. Maybe to follow the footsteps of what men's lacrosse did last year, an upset against Georgetown, making it into the quarterfinal round. And in fact, men's lacrosse, they're on the road today to face Mount St. Mary's and their action early in this season. I believe you have our first card for a Lafayette player, and that's Jordan Simonson sent off. 6-4 the score. Lafayette scored very early into the possession when they were up a player in the first quarter. Delaware will try the same here in their first possession after the card. Patient work here. Gillen to goal line extended feed to the heart of the defense. Defenders are there. Pass shoveled away. That's an alert play by Bazzi. Transfer from Coastal Carolina, but thanks to that feed by Bazzi, Delaware keeps the possession and eventually gets the tally. On the board for the first time today, Mackenzie Didio, the freshman from Westport, Connecticut. It's 7-4. The Didio sisters, Mackenzie and Mia, for this roster. Not the only sisters that come together in the same freshman class in this game. For Lafayette, they have Megan and Kristen Igneri, two freshmen from Syosset, New York. But a man-up tally for the Hens. It's 7-4. And we are seeing certainly the early pace to this one. A lot of possessions early on and a lot of scoring as well. Next draw control here to Delaware. If they can score here, they'll tie up their biggest lead of the game. Again, Delaware, they've been leading throughout after the opening 4 tallies, but Lafayette got it within 1 after scoring the next 3. And that was how the first quarter ended. A little trip there, foul called. Gore trip to the turf. Action resuming here. Shot clock halfway through. McDaniel attracts extra attention, passes away. Levernice on the feed. Extra pass sends it up. 30 seconds now on the shot clock. Rosa gives away. Gillen looking from GLE. Tried to get the feed right at the mouth of attack, but off the mark for McDaniel and out of bounds. And it'll be a turnover for the Hens. Not that you want possessions to be an issue for Delaware, but if your turnovers come at the doorstep, it's certainly more understandable when you're getting aggressive than the unforced mistakes. Foul called here, allows for the easy clear for Geiger, and the Pards will be now in attack. Quick shot right at the eye level to be saved. Katie Chasen on the shot and Mercy McCarthy on the save. So far, so good in terms of the transition attack for Delaware. It'll be now a perfect 8 of 8 clearing by Delaware. So far, just one failed clear by Lafayette. They're 7 of 8. And so strong transition work on both sides. Nearing the midway point of quarter number 2, Delaware in attack. Shot, I believe, got slowed off before Laurel McHale can get rid of it. And a timeout was called before the Lafayette pass was released. And so we'll keep things here, but kind of get reset of what we've seen so far in this one. 7-4 the score, 7:41 left to go, quarter number 2. And some of the top headlines early in this game: Delaware controlling the shot total 20-8, including a 16-8 advantage on target, but 9 saves by Lafayette keeper Lexi Coldiron has kept this quite close. And that has forced Delaware to shoot 1 of 5 from the free position. A look here for the next Delaware men's lacrosse game right here at home. That is Saturday against St. John's. And Delaware, after having that big tournament upset last year against Georgetown, they have high hopes for this year, set to host St. John's University. And you can, of course, log on to bluehens.com/LAXTIX. That's LaxTix. We'll see if Delaware has a win in their pocket in their opener, and well, I think the answer is going to be yes. Hens 14 and the Mount 6 in Emmitsburg, Maryland, with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the game. J.P. Ward, Ty Kurtz, Cam Accioni, all with hat tricks so far for Delaware at Mount St. Mary's. Ward also with 4 assists along the way. And so Delaware in great position to take the win and make it 2-0 heading into that game. As we look again at the series history for Delaware Lafayette, if we're talking men's lacrosse, they did win in Easton on Saturday against the Leopards 14-5, but here on the women's side, Delaware winning the last 9 meetings. And the last time Lafayette defeated Delaware was back when young broadcaster Adam Dobrovolsky was all of 6 years old. 28 years ago was the last time Lafayette won. Again, they were regulars competing, especially in the 90s. And both programs were having their fair share of success. You see in the series history, sprinkled in one of the teams ranked. I believe, in fact, the last time in 2015 when Delaware dominated Lafayette, Delaware was receiving votes in the coaches poll back in 2015. Out of the timeout, it is Lafayette able to get the clear and with possession in attack. Abby Romano passing away. Claire Colgan, have yet to mention her name much, but one of the top scorers last year for Lafayette, gives it back to Romano. Going to be a whistle called here, delayed call. And so maybe an opportunity for a free position for Romano. Right from the center hash as well. So there, in theory, should be a full complement for the shot unless the Delaware defense can close in very quickly. Lafayette will have a trail player perhaps ready for a pass if need be. Romano will take the shot. It was slowed up. McCarthy with the easy save. Backside pass a little bit high, but still scooped up on the run. Yurchak turning on the Jets. Clear is good. Continues the drive. Feeds away. Quick passing, the goal line extended and up front. Shot was high, though. Backed up by Delaware. Quick restart. And now we'll settle into attack. Delaware biding some time. Now Yurchak on the carry. Passes away. McDaniel and Gillen passing behind goal line extended. Gillen Sends it up top. Well guarded. Shu gives away. Shu had 2 early tallies in the game. 3 players right now with 2 goals apiece. Shu, Laurel McHale, and Sarah Rogers. Shot clock getting quite low here. 20 on the shot clock. Here comes a shot saved by Cold Iron. Backed up by Delaware. That's now 10 saves for the Leopards keeper. And Delaware, I believe, having that shot clock go up to 60, but the official stopping this one. Are they going to say that this shot clock should go back down? Quick conferring. And I think they're just going to leave it as is, which should be the case. We did see it deflect and redirect off the basket of Cold Iron stick. Quick one-timer, and this time a finish is good. Danielle Livernice, quick drop on the shot. It's 8-4. So that's now 2 for Livernice in this game. 5 on the season. And we're starting to see the Hens gain a little bit more control in this game by the means of sheer shot volume. Delaney McDaniel started up as her pass was one time by Livernice. So McDaniel now already with 4 assists in the game. And so really a good start to her second game of the season. In year number 2, that after opening eyes with a program best by a freshman, that is, in assists. The all-time assist record for Delaware, I believe, came in recent history for the Blue Hens. As this time Lafayette will control the draw. Mia De Ruggiero finished just 6 assists shy of Karen Emis's program record for assists. And De Ruggiero just graduating in 2020, had 104 with Emis leading the way in program history with 110. On the free position, a quick tally by Lafayette, and it's 8-5. And so the Leopards able to get one right back. And Katie Chasen with the tally. Get a great angle here of Chasen's shot, finishing that low, able to finish it on the hop between the legs. Tough for there to be a stop by McCarthy. Best chance she might have had was with the foot, but tough to do. Jason has spent time in this Lafayette attack, also working the draw control unit. Now a senior for the Leopards from Pelham, New Hampshire. Last year's academic All-Patriot League with a 3.99 GPA and broke out on the field as well for the Leopards with 12 goals out of her 15 career entering this season's action. Nearly a clean draw control whistle, but it's still picked up by Lindsay Geiger. And so the Leopards a chance here to get back-to-back goals. This is, in fact, the first time after they've scored in which they won the draw control. First time they've had back-to-back possessions in the game. One way to help out your shot advantage if you're Delaware is to control the possession advantage, and they have. Nice tight defense from Madison Hronika. Ball on the ground. Hronika, all Colonial preseason player, and is the top face guarder on this Delaware defense, with all respect to the rest of the unit. Hronika's been that good. The senior defender from Mendham, New Jersey. Clear is good. Hronika had 3 ground balls, 4 caused turnovers in the opener against the Lehigh. Was a top defender. Kara Graham was the top midfielder with a hat trick. And Laurel McHale, with her 2 goals, 2 assists, was the top attacker in that game. McCarthy had 6 saves and goal in the victory, playing the full 60 minutes. Little stop and go and finish. Great individual effort by the freshman Morgan Gore, and it's back to a 4-goal lead for the Hens. It's 9-5. Freshman from Crofton, Maryland. You're going to see right here, little cut and goal. Chasen overcommitting just a bit there, stumbled as well on the slide. But that's good work by Gore, the freshman. And a promising future, getting the start as a freshman, obviously, with a team that has a lot of capable players, both starting and as a reserve. But the Arundel High product, who was lacrosse, soccer, and field hockey player, 2-year captain for lacrosse, and all-county first team, finished as the top goal scorer in the county as a high school junior. Another draw control here for Delaware with 3:10 left to go in the half. 9-5, Delaware leading. It is final, by the way, in Emmitsburg, Maryland. Delaware men's lacrosse 15, Mount St. Mary's 6, so it'll be 2-0. Heading into that home opener Saturday against the Red Storm, as could be a 2-0 start here for women's lacrosse, as Livernice now has a hat trick. In Delaware with its biggest lead of the game, it's 10-5. I'll look at the replay here. McDaniel to Livernice. So McDaniel keeps the assist tallies going. 5 in the opening half. And Livernice, the first player with a hat trick today. 2 in as many games. In case anybody's curious, the single game record for assists was pulled off twice by Mia De Ruggiero. 9 against Canisius, March 9th, 2018. Pulled off 9 again in a loss to Oregon, March 27th of 2019. So we'll see if McDaniel can keep things up. She has possession here after another Hens possession. Draw control starting to continue to stretch out in favor of Delaware. Ball on the ground here. It'll be scooped up by Lafayette. Ball shoveled into the crease to be picked up by Cold Iron, who launches the pass ahead. On a hop, it'll be picked up. Waiting for it was Simonson. Jordan Simonson gives it away. Sarah Rogers completes the clear, and the Leopards, in need of a tally, maybe 2, before the break, losing possession here. The transition started by May Dickens, the quad captain, who has held her own defensively. It's Dickens, Rosa, Hronica, and Shu, the captains this year for Delaware. And the clear now good. So we mentioned draw controls, a early advantage in this first half for Delaware. 11-6 is now the edge as a Delaware shot advantage, 26-10. All 10 shots for Lafayette have been on target. Rosa getting called for the foul here on the charge. And with under a minute left to go, the shot clock off for Lafayette. And they do have an opportunity to get this maybe to a 4-goal game before the break. Colgan passes away. Clear is good. Ball on the ground. Picked up by Bennett. And the feed will go to X. On the carry, a turn, a fire, a shot low and saved. Charlotte Edwards denied by Mercy McCarthy. Quick closing defensively by Geiger. Failed clear by Delaware. Loose ball nearly intercepted. Ball on the ground. It'll be scooped up by Delaware after the takeaway by Hronica. 10 seconds left to go. Delaware in transition again. As this is wide open, back and forth across in the final 30 seconds. Quick shot denied as the horn sounds. And we will head into the halftime break. But once again, Delaware with a strong advantage in quarter number 2. And for the second consecutive game, it's a 6-2 scoring advantage in this quarter. Delaware going to the half leading 10-5 against Lafayette. We'll pause for a halftime break. You're watching Hens All Access and Flow Sports Live. Stay tuned. And we're back here. Apologies, some technical difficulties, but back here with Lafayette getting on the board to start half number 2. Early into quarter number 3. 54 seconds in after a Delaware turnover on an offensive foul. Lafayette getting on the board to start things off. Genevieve Strobel, the senior, makes it 10-6. Adam Dobrovolsky here from Delaware Stadium as the Blue Hens performing very well for the second consecutive game in quarter number 2. A 6-2 scoring advantage in the quarter for the second time in as many games gave the Hens the halftime lead. Meanwhile, the draw controls continue to go in Delaware's favor as Danielle Livernice, a hat trick plus 2 draw controls in the opening half, collects that draw, and it's now 13-6, the advantage for Delaware. But in the half, Lexi Coldine with a good string of saves, 10 in the half, double-digit saves for the 8th time in her career. Some of the other standouts, besides the Leopard keeper and the Delaware attack, Delaney McDaniel, 5 assists. Madison Hronica, 2 ground balls, 3 calls turnovers. And for Lafayette, Lindsey Geiger, 3 ground balls, 2 calls turnovers, and 2 draw controls. It'll be a free position opportunity for the Blue Hens. And it'll be a quick pass by Kira Grant. Delaware nearly turned it over, but a foul called against Lafayette. And another free position awarded. Pretty good angle for the hash here. One right of center. From a standing position, the shot by Lizzie Shu off the mark, went wide. Quick restart by Delaware. Shu led all players with 7 shot attempts in the opening half. Had 2 early goals, as Delaware had the opening 4 tallies of the game and have led throughout. Lafayette got it as close as 1 when it was 4-3 after the first quarter of action. And once again, Delaware will have an opportunity from the 8-meter. 1 of 6 so far free position shooting, though. And this is one area where the Leopards struggled defensively last year. Shot off the mark here. And backed up by Delaware, who quickly restarts. McDaniel on the feed. Livernice with the shot. Heavy carom on the save, but picked back up by Delaware. Lafayette showing firm resistance, but not making the stop yet. It remains 10-6. Yurchak tried to get through Abby Romano there. Ball on the ground. It's a scramble for possession. Going past the restraining line. And a foul called against Delaware. So the Leopards indeed get the stop. And trying to make it the opening 2 tallies of quarter number 3. Now, Delaware had that strong second quarter against the Mountain Hawks from Lehigh over the weekend. But Lehigh finished the game strong and got it within 2. And so, if you're Delaware, you keep that in mind here with the way things are in the opening 3 minutes. You have to keep the effort not necessarily consistent minute to minute, but consistent in the sense whenever there's an ebb in favor of Lafayette, you got to have the flow go back your way and find the response. Cannot let this game swing in momentum, as Lafayette's pass wasn't a good one. It's turned over. And Delaware, who was perfect clearing the ball until the final minute of the first half, trying to get one here. Both teams really were good clearing the ball. McDaniel tosses it up top. A little space to carry, but given right back to McDaniel at goal line extended. Nothing doing. Livernice now surveys. Gives it away. A little tic-tac-toe attempt, and that's on the ground, and finally a whistle called. Well, McHale was sent to the turf. And there's going to be a Lafayette player sent off with a card, I believe, but this is still Lafayette possession. I don't see anybody going to be sitting down just yet. Looking for a clarification here. Oh, they're going to say it is a yellow card against Danielle Livernice. So, I'm not seeing her sit down where they normally have the penalized players sit, but it will be up a player for 2 minutes for Lafayette. Both teams went 1 of 1 man up in the opening half. Pass nearly intercepted, but knocked down and then still scooped up by Delaware. Good work there to cause the turnover by the Hens. And the one starting the issue, looking to continue on this clear, Sam Schelling with the turnover causing sequence, and now the clear. 5 minutes complete, third quarter. Timeout called by Amy Altig and Delaware, as we'll keep it here As the Blue Hens looking to go 2-0 for the first time since 2016. It's year 4 for both of these coaching staffs, Altig for Delaware and McConnell for Lafayette. A reminder of what's coming up on Saturday for Delaware men's basketball. Going up against UNCW. Shamir Nelson Jr. and the crew will be at the Bob at 4 p.m. And you can log on to bluehens.com/tickets. And of course, as well, got to keep our eyes on what's to come for women's basketball against Drexel. And that over the weekend at 2 p.m. from the Bob. Again, it's bluehens.com/tickets. As we are getting towards that time, the final weeks of Colonial action into the conference tournaments. And if it's like last year, to the NCAA tournaments. But obviously, from the men's side, Charleston taking a lot of the publicity on a national scene for the Colonial teams earlier this season being ranked. You never know, though. You just got to get into the Colonial postseason and see what happens from there moving forward. Certainly interesting to see this time of year. The spring seasons are starting to get warmed up. We have lacrosse now underway in a few weeks. Baseball and softball will be getting their action underway here in the first state. You'll have conference tournaments for basketball. If you're a wrestling fan, you'll be seeing those tournaments as well on the national and regional scenes. A lot of fun coming up down the stretch of this February portion into March, as the Blue Hens got off to a good start. First 4 goals of the game have led since then, currently back up by 4. And back underway after the Delaware timeout. Lafayette putting some pressure on, but the pass gets through. Weaving through a few and drawing contact here. Morgan Gore will have opportunity for free position coming up. Gore already with a tally this afternoon. We'll look for a second. But again, it's been tough sledding to get by Lafayette keeper Lexi Coldiron, although Gore is successful here, and it's 11-6. So Morgan Gore with her second. And back to a game-high lead, 5 for the Blue Hens. Able to get this shot to drop low in the corner. Looked like she might start up high, get that stick to move up a little bit, and then change the planes very effectively by Gore. And that is the first man down goal of the game. Remember, Danielle Livernice got sent off with a penalty for 2 minutes. Yellow card assessed to her. Shu, Gore, and McHale. Laurel McHale, that is, with 2 apiece. Danielle Livernice with a hat trick. And Mackenzie Didio and Lizzie Yurchak 1 apiece, as Delaware with another draw control. And it is really starting to feel a lot more like Saturday's game against Lehigh, when the Blue Hens had a 28 advantage at the draw circle. It's now 14-6, including a perfect 3-0 start here in quarter number 3. Around the horn it goes. There was Gore attracting some attention. Up top it goes again. Megan Johnson running into a little bit of traffic. The eventual passing puts the ball on the ground, and Lindsay Geiger racing the other way for Lafayette. Geiger's been the stud defensively for the Leopards in her season opening campaign as a sophomore. Last year, 36 ground balls, 19 calls, turnovers, 10 draw controls. Similar statistical spread so far today for her, at least for game number 1. Here's Abby Romano. She's face guarded and face guarded well. Gets the pass off, turn and fire, but a foul called. And so it could be a free position opportunity, I believe, coming up for the Leopards. Or no, they're going to stay the other way. They're going to whistle, I believe, Sophia Spallone for the infraction. Maybe a dangerous follow-through. That seems to be the case. And so Delaware will be up a player as Spallone sent off with the yellow. Almost halfway through quarter number 3. 11-6 the Delaware lead. Well, that all started with the good face guarding against Abby Romano. Pressure on the ride from the Leopards. Haronica was the one defending Romano on that sequence that eventually led to the dangerous follow-through. Gets the pass away, and then the clear good by Kellyanne Maddie. And all of a sudden now, man up, Delaware settled into attack, 7v6. Who can they draw up to get open here? Up top it goes. Sydney Rosa guarded well, gives it away. Quick passing. McDaniel surveys, sends it up top. Rosa might have space. And with the defenders getting there late, it'll be a free position awarded. Obstruction of the path there, called against Lafayette. And Rosa looking for her first tally of the afternoon. Will she go for the shot or pass it away from this hash? Looks like she's going to pass it away. Good work by Lafayette defensively. Clean play, the officials say. And the ball turned over. Romano, though, has it swiped back the other way. Good work on the ride by Sophia Murray. Meanwhile, we're going to have a whistle here as the clock will stop. Delaware will have a substitution here. Not sure if that's on the injury front. Keep an eye on that as Riley Gillen will get tended to. Didn't see what would have caused that. But there's one of your top assisting players getting looked at right now. Going to be a delayed call. Another free position opportunity coming up. But from a tight hash for Lizzie Yurchak. Yurchak will take the drive herself. Delayed shot, but it's through. And the Hens lead 12-6. That's a patient, good-looking drive by Lizzie Urchak, who now has 2 on the afternoon. Nice poise to also wait for the opening on the finish. Right here, waits to get by the 2 defenders who are looking to close in. Geiger and Nora Burns are the ones trying to cause a turnover. There's a second man-up goal for Delaware. They've also had a man-down tally. An interesting spot here for the Leopards. They had a 3-goal run after being down by 4. But after that, it's just been slowly but surely Delaware gaining separation. And another draw control. And this is part of the reason why. Delaware had 6 more possessions in half one than Lafayette, 22-16. But there has not been a single draw control by the Leopards in quarter number 3. It's a 4-0 start to the quarter, and now 15-6 the advantage for Delaware in the game. And it's just not the mathematics you want in your favor for a comeback if you're Lafayette, as a one-timer denied. Not sure the shot ever cleanly got off. And now the Leopards looking to go the other way. Pass up ahead's a good one, so the clear successful. Genevieve Strobel passes away. Sarah Bennett as well. Lafayette trying to get a 1v1 breakdown, turnaround shot no good. That went wide from Charlotte Edwards, the sophomore or the freshman from San Francisco. But on the quick restart, a feed up front and the finish. And it'll be 12-7 as a tri-captain Bennett on the board for the first time this afternoon. Senior from Larchmont, New York, who's captain for the 2nd season. Provides good leadership for this team. And just able to drive and finish low. Bennett along with Megan McLaughlin and Carrie Torto, the Leopards captains for this 2023 season. And this could be pretty big here if the Leopards can get the next draw control. Again, if you can just find a way to get consecutive goals, you can start to maybe turn the ebb and flow your way. But Delaware, anytime Lafayette over the last 2 quarters have gotten on the board, Delaware has been able to respond and respond with consecutive goals. And they'll get the draw control with Gore catching it cleanly. Under 5 to go in the quarter. Gore having some space up top. Carries, then feeds. Laurel McHale gives it away. McDaniel toss up top. Gore gives it away. Pressure on. 2 defenders split. A foul drawn, though, as the Hens were trying to get the blow by there to split the 2 and get an open lane to shoot. But Halen Cerrone instead draws the foul, passes away, gets it back, surveys the scene. A feed, a turn, a fire, and a score. Delaney McDaniel usually facilitating, this time finishing. It's 13-7. And that time maybe sensing the defense was overcommitting just a bit too much. Had the open lane after the turn. And able to drive it home. Her first goal of the game. Maybe by her standards, a bit quiet in the season opener against the Mountain Hawks. Not so much today. 1 goal, 1 assist against the Lehigh. And here today against the Leopards, 1 goal, 5 assists. All 5 of those assists in half number 1. Still time, though, left to add on to that total. Ray thought she was going to have it. Delaware makes Lafayette work a little bit more into that, but eventually Lindsey Geiger with the draw control. Quick drive, and where they let this shot count, they will. And it's through. There was a whistle maybe a bit early there. You want to maybe let that call be delayed because Claire Colligan was driving, and she scored her first of the game. Colligan had a breakout sophomore campaign and is definitely more the finisher than the facilitator. Gets a nice drive and finish there. Colligan, a junior from Madison, New Jersey. Went to Madison High, so same hometown as Sarah Rogers, but different high school. 23 tallies last year after 3 as a freshman. No career assists over the first 2 years for Colligan, but on the board with career goal number 27 in game number 17. And now we've seen 3 consecutive possessions between the two teams with goals. Quick foul called and a draw control going Delaware's way. So far, only twice in this game, Lafayette's had back-to-back possessions. Won't have it here. So 8 scores, but only 2 draw controls after those 8 tallies. That's really hindering their chance at coming back in this one. McDaniel, quick pass and a quick finish. It's Cerrone on the finish. Halen Cerrone, the sophomore from Syracuse, makes it 14-8. And this is quick tic-tac-toe passing. Good lane to find the shot. O'Driscoll was there defensively. Cold Iron tried to make the stop. There were 10 first half saves for Lexi Cold Iron, but she's been unable to find a save yet here in quarter number 3. 8 saves in quarter 1 with only 4 goals allowed. It was a real hot start for Cold Iron. But as mentioned after that first quarter for Delaware, you keep doing what you're doing on offense. You have the shot volume. You keep working different looks. It's going to eventually go your way. It is very hard in this sport to save throughout the entire game 2/3 of the shots on goal. Lafayette winning possession here. The official at first indicating Delaware's way, but corrects herself, and that situation, she knew it was Lafayette's ball, just pointed the wrong way. Well, scoring uptick here in the past few minutes. Pressure remaining on here. A little bit of trouble for Marley Scala to get it away. It does. Gets it here. The shot, though, low and saved. And Mercy McCarthy coming up with the stop. McCarthy now with 8 saves. She's at 50% saving for the afternoon. Reverse shot shoveled wide by Shu. Trying to catch the Lafayette defense napping, but off the mark. She will pass away. McDaniel receives a pass at goal line extended, gives it away. We still have not seen Riley Gillen before or since she's headed off. And she was getting looked at. Grant. Pass a bit wide there. And so turned over by the Blue Hens. Lafayette with the stop, although an unforced mistake. And the shot clock is off heading into the final minute of quarter number 3. Delaware extending its lead by as many as 6 goals in this game. Bennett sizing up her defender, passes away, a little bit of lane to move here, and the shot is good. Megan McLaughlin on the dodge, has the finish. It's 14-9 with 35 seconds left. Both teams with 4 tallies in quarter number 3. Defense got a little sagging there against McLaughlin, and McLaughlin to space takes advantage. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication there defensively on who's going to mark inside and who's going to mark outside. And so 14-9 the score. You see Spallone and Schelling along the edge of the circle there, trying to control the draw. And Izzy Ray will get it past to Spallone. A chance here for Lafayette, if they can score before the end of quarter break, to get this one back within a manageable distance. If you're at 3 or 4, some pretty good position as a Lafayette player goes down. Oh, not sure if that was from the turf, but it is Delaware heading the other way. 3 seconds left to go. Pass going to be intercepted by Lafayette, but that is going to end the quarter with a Leopards player down. And not what you want to see. Making a drive at the ball, or with the ball. And unfortunately, that is a senior Marley Scala. We're going to pause for a brief break here. 14-9 the score. Delaware leading, heading into the final 15. Stay tuned as you're watching Hens All Access and Flow Sports Live. Leading 14-9 here on Hens All Access and Flow Sports Live. Unfortunately, at the end of that third quarter, Marley Scala injured on the play. Looked like she was trying to make a dodge, lost the ball, went to the turf. She had to be carried off the field, and we wish her the best, but the injury did not look good for her, and obviously a tough one to see at any juncture of the game. But with it being a 5-goal game here into the fourth quarter, if you're Lafayette, you get the last tally of quarter number 3. If you can grab the first, let's say, 2 goals, you're right back in it. If you're Delaware and you grab the first 2 goals, you're feeling like this is your game to finish. And so let's say these next 3 to 5 minutes of crucial importance. Each team scored 4 goals in quarter number 3, and the opening possession of quarter 4 goes to Delaware, who has dominated draw controls in half number 2. It is 18-9, the advantage for Delaware in the draw circle. Scored on 4 of 12 possessions in quarter number 3. Did the Blue Hens, while Lafayette scored on 4 of 10. Turnover here, though, and it's a big stop, but a trail check from behind and a foul called. A quick scoop up and restart of action by Amelia Duncan, who gets the pass away. And so the clear good for the Leopards. And if you're Katie McConnell, you have to be pleased with the team's effort. But the one thing that's been lacking is that second run in the game. And if the Leopards get that again, we'll be back to a ball game. So this is where Delaware wants to start off on the right foot defensively. It's a tight angled shot, no good. That was by Charlotte Edwards, the St. Ignatius College prep product. Delaware winning the ball after that missed shot. This is really where you clamp things down defensively if you're these two teams. For Delaware, you can be more diligent with the pace and possession. And if you're Lafayette, you want to still be smart and cognizant with the ball, but you will want to start putting the pressure on the Delaware defense and maybe try to get some 8-meter opportunities. Free positions have been in Delaware's advantage in volume, but not percentage. 3 of 9 from the 8-meter hash. Lafayette's 2 of 4. And there will be a free position opportunity earned by the Blue Hens. Lizzie Shue had both of her goals in the first quarter. We'll see if she takes the shot here. Drives, and the shot is wide. So it's now just 3 of 10 free position shooting. This opportunity stopped. Loose ball not cleanly picked up by Delaware, but was backed up by the Blue Hens. They'll keep possession after a fresh 60. Right to the heart of the defense, and this time Shue converts. It's a hat trick for Lizzie Shue, and it's a 15-9 Delaware lead. Again, the one-timing finishes. It's another assist for Delaney McDaniel. And another tally for Lizzie Shue. Shue did not score against Lehigh. Last year, though, had 5 hat tricks, including a 3-game stretch in which she scored 11 goals, led by a 5-goal, 1-assist effort against Elon. Meanwhile, now 7 assists for Delaney McDaniel. That's, for her, a career high. And too shy of tying the single game record. And Delaware continuing to get the job done at the draw circle. The sun is set here in the first state. Approaching the 2-hour mark for today's game. And well, until we get to daylight savings, you're probably going to see these 4 o'clock starts end with the lights on. Delaney McDaniel with a career-high 7 assists. Actually set that career high by the first half, as Delaware will have another tally here make it 16-9. Her best single game mark as a freshman was 4. She was Colonial Rookie of the Year, but here a tally by Gore. First hat trick for her career. Nice dodge, nice finish, low and right for Morgan Gore. Just her second team game against the Mountain Hawks. Scored on her lone shot. Here today already with 3. Doing so on 5 shots. She's also helped out with the draw unit with 4 draw controls. Now the team's 19. Well, this is exactly how Delaware wanted to start off this 4th quarter, getting the opening 2 tallies in the driver's seat, up by 7. And now you just play strong defense to finish out this game, and you're 2-0 for the first time in 7 years. With the homestand continuing next Wednesday against Temple. Last year, the Hens pulled off the upset on the road against a ranked Owls team. And they'll hope that they have similar success next weekend, but only after the final 11 minutes are complete here. After the Lafayette draw control, Lindsey Geiger turned it over. Delaware back in attack. To McDaniel it goes. McDaniel quick feed. One-timer shot off the mark. Could have been assist number 8 for McDaniel, but the shot no good. We get the confirmation of the implications with the single game record from our athletic communication staff here at Delaware. 9, the single game record. Mia De Ruggiero twice doing so. 2018, 2019. Daniel with 7 so far. 10 minutes left to go. But after Delaware losing possession, Lafayette in attack. Trying to get to double figures in their season opener. Colgan going to keep it herself, looking for a dodge. That's well guarded. Pass away. Still under pressure. Sarah Rogers feeding it to the heart of the defense, and a foul called. And I believe it'll be a free position awarded to the Leopards. Sophia Spallone with the 8-meter opportunity. Spallone can't get the shot. Picked back up by Lafayette, though. Quick reattempt goes wide. Backed up again by the Leopards. Keeping the pressure on in this offensive possession. McLaughlin continues the carry to X. Turns on the Jets. Tight ropes around the crease. Pass off the mark. Spallone tracking it down. Getting pushed in the back, and a foul called. And they're going to actually give that a yellow. There was a little more than a push there, let's say, for that to be a yellow. And just an untimely mistake there by Delaware. Lizzie Yurchak getting a bit overzealous there. Spallone clearly had the back to Yurchak. And so a man-up opportunity for the Leopards. They did convert in the first. Have not converted since. I believe 1 of 2 for the afternoon. Ball on the ground here, but picked back up. Rogers gives away, but Katie Chasen's pass is intercepted. Plucked out of the air by Sydney Rosa, who draws the foul, quickly passes away. Ooh, a pass nearly intercepted by Lafayette, forcing it errant from Delaware, and it's turned back over the other way. Things a bit wide open here, as it'll be a trot clean home for the clear for Sarah Rogers, who still doesn't have a defender her way. Continues the carry now, gives away to goal line extended. One-timer attempt off the mark for Chasen. Ball on the ground, picked up by Delaware. Chasen might have dropped that stick a tad early to secure the pass from McLaughlin, but Lindsay Geiger intercepts it the other way. Okay, well, now all of a sudden, it's hustle ball back and forth. Open, could be a free lane for Rogers. Defense closes in neatly, but the roll dodge in the finish. And it's 16-10 with a hat trick for Sarah Rogers. That was a wayward sequence for about 2 minutes there. But you see here, look, that is good closing in defensively, but roll one way, then turn the other and fire. That's a good individual effort by Sarah Rogers. So the Leopards get to 10 goals. Last year they averaged just a tick under 8 as a team. 119 goals in 15 games. In fact, they allowed exactly twice as many goals as they scored, allowing 238. But 10 on the board today. They did so in total 5 times out of their 15 games last year. And again, part of that is the experience this team brings back, and both teams, in fact, bring back a lot of experience. 9 Delaware starters back. 9 of their top stars, that is. But overall, returning more than 3/4 of the goals scored last year and 94.4 assists. Considering Gillen and McDaniel back, that is huge. Again, Riley Gillen leaving the game with injury as a timeout called here by Delaware after controlling the draw. Continuing the growth in year 4 for the program. Now the timeout. Quick run here by Shu looking for a shot, but a crease violation. We'll turn it over to Lafayette. I mean, Shu was just charging ahead. Cold Iron did get a piece of it, would have had the save. But instead of a loose ball, Lafayette possession on the crease violation. Geiger stopping. She was guarded by 2. Gets the pass off. Clear is good. Claire Culligan gives it away, and the Leopards will settle down into attack. Bennett surveying. Now McLaughlin to goal line extended. Feed back to X. Nothing there on the roll. Up top for Spallone. This is, again, what you want if you're Delaware. This shot clock down the 40. With Lafayette trailing by 6. And then the defense good as well. Checking away the stick of Claire Culligan. Pass, though, intercepted. So after Madison Haranica did a great job causing the turnover, she gives the ball right back. That is the one thing you don't want for Delaware down the stretch, are those quick turnovers. Although they're going to get it back here as Lafayette was getting aggressive. Pass was off the mark. Some unsettled lacrosse here as the clear will be good for Delaware. Overall, your clear percentages for both sides have been fairly good. 21 of 23 for Lafayette, 20 of 22 for Delaware. You get it over that 90%. It's where you want it if you're a coach. Air track running into some issues here, but peels out, passes away. Tic-tac-toe to the heart of the defense. Shot falling away. That will count, yes, as a shot. Quick restart pass deflects off a Delaware stick. Beyond the restraining line it goes, and it's a scramble for possession. Won by Delaware, a quick swipe by Lafayette, but a foul called. And so the Blue Hens will keep possession. With the shot clock being reset. That is what caused the stoppage. They had it initially at 26. Lafayette did have possession, swiped away by Delaware, won back by the Hens. Under 5 to go, approaching the final 4 minutes. Delaware indeed finishing it strong defensively here against the Leopards. Tight angle to shoot, but right at the mouth of cage. Might have hit off the top bar. Fresh 60 for Delaware as they keep possession. Double team here and a foul drawn. Awfully tight there, but it's an alert play offensively. Delaney McDaniel knows what she's doing with that ball. The sophomore has been stellar. 7 assists. A career high for her. And one of the best single game marks in Delaware women's lacrosse history, as a foul here should set up an 8-meter. We'll just pass it away here as the free position shot was initially won by Megan Bozzi. Coastal Carolina transfer. With 45 career goals with the Chanticleers, graduate student. But a much better hash here one. Shot though low and saved by Cold Iron. and a crease violation called afterwards. It's been only now 6 instances in Delaware women's lacrosse history with at least 7 assists. Besides the 2 9-assist effort by De Ruggiero, she had 1. Karen Emis had 8 against Bucknell in 1984, and 4 days later, Denise Swift had 7 against her Sinus. And now today, Delaney McDaniel with 7 and counting with 3 minutes left to go against Lafayette. There was a 2-minute penalty assessed against Delaware. And so a chance to go man up here for Lafayette late in the game. And a quick tally here. Quick tally will make it 16-11, as I believe Lizzie Urchak was given her 2nd yellow, so that would mean she's not eligible to return. And here you see the finish, her 4th for Sarah Rogers. McCarthy might have had a good vision of that one, but just misread where it came off of the cross. But Rogers will be the standout offensively for the Leopards with her 4th. Defensively, the standout for sure is Lindsay Geiger. 5 ground balls, 4 caused turnovers, 3 draw controls. Lexi Coldiron in her own right with 12 saves was looking firmly in favor, especially in the first quarter after 8 saves. But Geiger has been just all around defensively for the Leopards, who win the draw control here, thanks to Colleen McNamara. Quick tally again. Back-to-back tallies within seconds as Genevieve Strobel gets it to 16-12. Well, maybe the doors creep back open here for Lafayette. 2 tallies in 10 seconds. Rogers man-up goal followed by Strobel with the tally. If Lafayette gets a draw control here, then you can say keep that open for the time being. Abby Romano assisting the Strobel man-up goal. Delaware has been strong at the draw circle all afternoon, and they'll get it here, and that is huge. And that may very well shoot those odds right close to 100% to win this one. As long as you keep possession, if you're Delaware, you can get it down probably about half of where it's at now. Shot clock violation would stop the clock at 1 minute 17 seconds. We mentioned the Lafayette standouts today for Delaware. Defensively, Madison Horonica, per usual, has been strong, but we also will look at Sam Schelling as a timeout called on the field here with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left to go. 16-12 the score. 3 ground balls, 4 caused turnovers, 3 draw controls for Schelling. Horonica still at 4 ground balls, 3 caused turnovers. And offensively, Delaney McDaniel with those 7 assists plus the goal is the standout offensively for the Blue Hens. 2 minutes and 2 seconds left to go here. A little 2-and-2 action. Come out of the timeout. 16-12 the score. And I think the assessment here of these two sides is learning a lot about each other. You have a lot of your players returning. Both programs, looks like the camaraderie's there, the coaching is there, but you just want to see how things early in 2023 come together, what offensive plays are really working well, which players have made big progress from off-season into the year. And once you get there, then you can kind of see really what your team identity for the year is going to be. But I think for Lafayette, you're feeling good of this first performance being one that you look a lot more experienced than last year, where you had a lot of freshmen and sophomores starting defensively. Offensively, you're trying to really see who your best options are besides the experienced Olivia Cunningham. Well, today, 12 tallies on the board. Sarah Rogers with 4 goals, but overall the ball control feels much more consistent this year. 15 turnovers, yes, for Lafayette, but I mean, we're looking at somewhere in the range of close to 40 possessions. And so, out of those 15 turnovers, 11 have been caused by Delaware. So you have only 4 unforced mistakes. Delaware's had 20 turnovers, but 14 of those caused by Lafayette. So it's been a lot of that active play, as nearly a pass intercepted there. But you're going to go full ride here, even in the defensive zone, if you're Lafayette trying to force a shot clock violation. 10 on the clock for Delaware. 5 seconds, 4. 3 will be a late shot here. Cold Iron traps the ball, makes the save. Shot clock off, and we'll see if Lafayette can get one final tally here. Pass a little bit high for Bennett. It's going to go out of bounds. Well, there was one of those unforced mistakes from Lafayette. You just kind of sense down. It always feels like these final 2-3 minutes, something a little wacky may happen, unsettled. Possession here, possession there. And right now, McCarthy, 7 saves on her way to a second consecutive victory to start 2023, gets the pass away. The Hens get the clear, and this may very well do it. First 4 tallies of the game. As a result, Delaware leading throughout. They led by as many as 7 goals. They see 7 assists from Delaney McDaniel. And in the end, as the final 10 seconds will tick off after a save from Lexi Cold Iron, the Leopards will just eat the ball as the Hens rule the roost. 2-0 for the first time in 7 seasons, with a 16-12 victory against the Lafayette Leopards, who fall in their season opener, but were game opponents on the road here in Newark, Delaware. We thank you so much for tuning in. A reminder, the next game for Delaware will be next Wednesday against Temple University. Start time for that one here at Delaware Stadium, 4 p.m. Until next time, this is Adam Dobrovolsky signing off. We thank you so much for tuning in today on Hens All Access and Flow Sports Live, and we wish everybody a good evening. Delaware victorious 16-12 to move to 2-0 for the first time since 2016. Take care.